The other thing I think I really want to talk about is reincarnation. I think that people, like, for a lot of people, this is just some wacky concept they can't even wrap their heads around. They've been indoctrinated for so long of what life is and how life works, and that you have to give your power over, you have to submit, you have to, I mean, in some of these concepts that they've told us about what life's all about, it doesn't really, it never has made sense to me. So it just doesn't make sense to me. And reincarnation has always made sense to me from the moment I ever heard about it. It just made sense. And the more I've studied it and the more I've understood about it, it just makes sense. And so even if, people want to say, oh, well, that's crazy. I'd rather believe in that than to believe in some of this other stuff, because that doesn't make any sense to me. So I'm going to believe in what makes sense to me. Everybody's going to believe what makes sense to them. And, I'm hoping that more and more people will look into reincarnation and start trying to understand it more, because it takes away so much of the confusion and pain of life. Because when you sit there and you think like, why would I have this horrible stuff happen to me? And when you see the differences in people's lives and what different people go through, and how some people have so many problems and some people don't. Well, then when you start understanding about reincarnation, it all starts making sense, and, somebody who's going through a ton of stuff, they could be putting back into balance things that they messed up before. Things that, when you start looking at life as an experience, and the challenges as your opportunity to grow, and what a soul really is, and what a soul is all about, and what the whole purpose is of it, then it makes it just feel like less painful or something. And I think so many people go around in so much pain, like, oh, this horrible stuff is happening. Why would God do this to me? God hates me. How can I love a God that hates me so much? Why do I have to keep going through these horrible things? And especially if you go through the same things over and 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 over again and again and again and again. And that's what I did with relationships. Kept thinking, oh, well, this person, it will be different. This person, it will be different. And it just kept being the same, because I wasn't different. I hadn't grown. And, no matter how I wanted to think I had grown, I hadn't grown. You can age and still not grow. So you have to actually focus on growth. You have to actually focus on trying to understand the things that happen to you and these repetitive patterns, so you can see how to break free from them, because you've trapped yourself there. God didn't trap you there. God didn't put you there and, sitting up there laughing at you, just saying, oh, just say Jesus is Lord and everything's good. You are trapped in these repetitive cycles because there's something that you haven't seen or learned or whatever. It's not like you, you have to endure it until you stop it, until you take control of it, until you start looking at it differently, until you start seeing it in a different way. Because if you're repeating patterns over and over and over, there's something that you're looking at that you're not looking outside of it. You're only seeing it in one way. And you have to, this is so important on everything in life, is to open your perspective. Look at things in a broader way. Look at it from more perspectives. Look at it from different ways. Look at it like, oh, well, what would Aunt Judy think of this? What would, you know, Uncle Steve think, or whatever? You know, start really trying to understand perspectives from different people's lives. This is the thing too, is, you know, everybody's life is in such a different perspective from everyone else's. And, you know, you can ask somebody and they will see it completely different than how you see it. That doesn't mean you have to just abide how they see it and just, oh, they said I should do this, you know, and go do that. No. What I'm saying is try and see as many perspectives. Try and get as much different ways of looking at it as possible, so it opens your mind so you can see things more clearly. And another way, which I talk about all the time, for clarity, is meditation, because you will get communication if you are open to it, and you can understand how they're communicating to you. And that's all in translation, and that's all in stuff that you have to work on, your own skills of understanding the communication. Because you got to remember, this isn't like they can't call on the phone and just, you know, say a bunch of words. This is you're dealing with people in two different we're in different dimensions, we're in different realms. So the communication is telepathy. So they're going to tell you things in your head, they're going to talk to you in your head, they're going to show you things in your head, but you have to also be open to it, because it is about free will. They can't just, you know, go in. That's why I talk about these people who are tapped into like negative energy and stuff like that. They are inviting that energy in by not having discernment, if you understand what I'm saying. So if you're just like, you know, down in the low density and you don't have any kind of boundaries as a sovereign being, you're just kind of open, and you will have a lot of that negative energy controlling you without you even knowing that it's controlling you. You have to be able to have that discernment. You have to, that's the mind-body connection, when you are tuned in to how something makes you feel, and you have a broader perspective, so you can have a deeper understanding. And it's just this new way of being. That is basically what we're moving into, this new way of being and understanding and healing and interacting. And you know, so it's all part of this kind of process of moving us in a different direction. But it's also up to each of us, because right now we are in this time that it is up to each of us. And I do know a lot of people who are trying to heal, who are just completely still oblivious to reality. And, you know, I'm just really hopeful that, you know, any of the people who are focused on the right kind of things, you know, even if they don't understand reality, and they still have, you know, like they see that we can be better, that the things that we can do to improve our society. And it's not this ridiculous, you know, let's get 200,000 labels, you know, well, let's carry a fucking dictionary with us. So you can even have pictures that match the stuff, because it's ever changing. It's not about that. It's not about like we're all going to run around stomping our feet and crying because somebody called us the wrong pronoun or whatever. And, you know, yesterday my daughter told me, one of my daughters told me that, well, at least teen pregnancy is down. And I didn't say anything because she wouldn't understand where I was coming from at all. But in my head, I was thinking, yeah, but, you know, transitioning is up, which is also going to be making, what is that word? Sterile. So The sterilization of young people is also up, so, but you can't say that. I mean, all they hear is that you're not accepting of others. I'm accepting of others. I'm not accepting of this indoctrination programming and making people hate themselves and creating so much division and making these ridiculous divisive I have so many words rushing into my head. It's like I'm trying to pick through them real quick. But you see what I'm saying? It is such a mess that has been created, and it's causes so much division because people can't see outside of that reality. They think all that stuff is real and that we really are not caring. Like, I can't even believe how many times I've been told lately, and here's Stella, she's always snoozing. Oh my God, this morning, last night was kind of rough, I don't know. There was a cat fight outside the window. I got the dogs to jump up, and then they wanted to go out, and I was like, no fucking way. I'm not getting up and opening the door. So they laid back down, and Stella, she's so chunky. I'm trying to really get her to lose more weight, but no. She has all this, like, on the bed, trying to move and stuff, and then she just flops down and just flops her big fat butt right up against my head. And she cracks me up. But then this morning, when she woke up and she started wagging her tail, and it just wagged and slapped me right in the eye. I thought I was going to have a black eye. It's still bugging me. I'm like, oh my God, she's going to blind me with her tail. Mastiff tails they're like an arm. They are so strong. They can walk past. You can have glasses on the table, like full glasses of water or whatever on the table, bowls, whatever. And their tail just knock them right off. They're just wagging it too. It's crazy how strong they are. And, but anyways, so that's the thing, is that they think that we are all just being so mean, especially the people who are more focused on God. They see that as the problem. Like, we're all so mean and judgy because of God's rules that we won't accept these people who have gender confusion and need a whole bunch of different words in the dictionary and stuff like that, and different definitions and all this craziness, that we are not caring for them. We are being like, oh, everything has to be this certain way because God said so. Well, that's part of this paradigm we're busting free from. That is in their illusion. In my illusion, it's completely different. God's not judging them. I'm not judging them. I don't care. All I see is, like, it's super sad. This world has gotten in their head and has gotten them so confused, and to give up their abilities to procreate because possibly God made a mistake over what body you went into. And it's just so many weird things in that, like, that is just so hard to comprehend. And it isn't. God's not making mistakes. It is this world that is creating your confusion. You are here for an experience. And yes, sometimes you may feel like you're in the wrong body. Usually you are. I don't know that you're just born equally, like, oh, I'm a boy, okay, now I'm a girl, I'm a boy, I'm a girl, I'm a girl. It's not like that. You're going to be born you could be born 15 times a guy, over and over and over and over and over. Maybe you're born mostly as a guy. And so then you get born as a girl, and you just feel like, okay, this feels weird. I don't feel right. Something feels off. I feel like I'm supposed to be wearing dresses. What's up? Why, man, I just don't fit in here. I'm a weirdo. What is going on with me? Well, if you come at it from a spiritual perspective, then you go, oh, yeah, I was just a bunch of guys. Now I came here to see this experience, to see what this is like, because I needed to balance myself out. I needed to understand both parts. I had to go in and play both parts. So when you're here and you're playing one part and suddenly it feels like, okay, this is wrong. They're playing on that. That's so untrue. You are always in the right body. You're always in the experience you chose. You are here to learn from those experiences. You're here to expand your soul. This isn't about this three-dimensional world. This isn't about like, I became CEO of Nabisco, and I drove a Rolls, and I had 14 kids, and all that stuff that you create. It's what you create is what you will learn from. So it is what you're doing. That is your lessons. So these it isn't about like, oh, I was super successful, so now I win. I go to the head of the class when I die. That's not how it works. Your success on this planet, in this reality, only matters in this reality. It doesn't matter outside of this reality. So if you spend all your life, like, you will step on anybody, you don't care. Nothing matters but your own success. You'll push anybody, off the bridge to get to the position that you want. That's what it's all about, is what you will do, who you will toss aside. That's the part of yourself that you will face, whether you face it in your life and you get that opportunity for redemption, or you're going to face it in death. And then you have to, design your incarnations around cleaning up the mess you just made from just treating people bad by stepping on other people, because that's not, that is a low vibration soul. That's not a soul that is a high vibration. A high vibration soul cares about other people's experience. They care about other people's pain. They have empathy. They have compassion. They have an understanding of the difficulty behind incarnations and the difficulty of learning and, just focusing on yourself and not others. It's real easy to go around the world and just be like, oh, you're a jerk. You're a jerk. You hurt my feelings. You're a jerk. You hurt my feelings. Oh, that's simple. When you stop and you look and go, why are my feelings hurt? What in me is so painful that somebody's words, somebody's, and they're probably coming from a place of pain, but what in me is letting them hurt me? That's where you got to start, is to stop letting other people hurt you with their words. Figure out what in you is missing that you would be hurt by somebody's words, especially, in most cases, a stranger. Somebody you don't even know. You don't know what they've gone through. You don't know what their perspective is on life and their perception of their injury and where they're lashing out and stuff like that. So you can't just let everybody hurt your feelings all the time. And if your feelings are hurt, just go in and look at your feelings. Put them out there. Try and understand, why are my feelings so raw? Why am I being bothered by a stranger who says, that I'm this or that? And you got to remember that some people are just mean. They're just bullies. They feel good making other people feel bad. And, if that's how they're going to continue their life, then they're going to see the error of their ways when it's too late and they can't go in and change it. They're going to see it, and then they are locked into these patterns, probably in three-dimensional. They're not going to go up and join the rest of us in the fourth dimension or the fifth dimension, or, they're going to stay down in this third-dimensional, dense, heavy, hard incarnations that are very painful. And, going into the other ones, you have to have learned from that, so that you do have that compassion, you do have that empathy, you do care for others. You're not there just to judge others. You're not there to just point out what's wrong with everybody else. You're ready to go up and just focus on yourself. That is moving into that higher dimension. Well, the lower dimension kind of mentality won't be joining. That's the split. We're having that split. I'm still having high hopes for a lot of people that they will. And since we don't know for sure what it all entails, it's hard to say. Like, do they just have to have empathy and compassion and they don't have to have awareness? I don't know. That's where none of us know. None of us are going to know until it all happens and we see how it goes down. And, but no doubt about it, that there will be a split. If you are somebody, just like what I talked about yesterday, these people who are going around in the inner cities all weekends, well, probably every single day, that are suffering in their own pain, who feel, validated, like they can go around and treat other people bad, they can steal their stuff, and, they're killing people, they're killing babies, for God's sakes. So, that stuff right there is stuff you're going to have to deal with. And it's not just like what people think, or what, I don't know what these people think. If they think, I think that they don't even think there is a heaven and hell. I think that they don't really think there is a God, that science is God. This is just all, bullshit. And, we're just some sort of weird accident that happened where these humans grew on this planet and they got some sort of brain and they're so incredible. They learned how to do all this stuff by themselves. And, I don't know how it works, because even for the people who are doing these bad things, who believe in God, wouldn't they fear hell? Why would they keep doing this bad stuff? So that's the thing, is like, I don't really get, but there isn't just like, oh, quick little, okay, now I'm going to hell and I'll just go down there and make the best of it. No, that's not how it works. You have to put things back into balance. You have to go in and have the things that you've done that cause suffering and pain to someone else. You're going to go in and experience it, probably tenfold. You're going to go in, you did it once, maybe you have to experience it 10 times. I don't know. It's not going to be fun. That's what I do know. You're not going to like it. And you're going to be stuck down here in this third dimensional density for another 26,000 years of going through this pain and suffering. So, free will, it's out there, for everybody. You can make the choice to do your healing, to stay focused and be ready to move into this higher dimension kind of existence where it is going to be different. We do get to experience life in a very different way. And it's going to be super exciting. It's going to be way more high tech. It's going to be way more of understanding with the quantum, like everything is going to be quantum, but understanding about consciousness and about our abilities over our material being. That is going to be super significant. Like there's so much excitement that is coming our way as in the human evolution of what is happening right now in this changing of the ages. So, but we can't do anything about it with the people who just want to continue to cause pain and cause suffering, and they've just got a lot to learn, I guess. But we're all making our choices. So just keep that in mind, all of this stuff, just keep in mind, it is all about your own healing. We are going into such a much better time. You have to take certain steps to actually be able to go into that higher minded kind of dimension. You have to get to a higher mind, Christ consciousness, to take those steps. But there's no shame in staying and continuing incarnating. I mean, There's incarnation outside of this also, but for these experiences, there's a lot to learn. Like, there's a lot of stuff I don't question. I know it in my heart because I learned it. And that's what everybody has to get to, those parts. So we don't want to, like, oh, if you're not waking up or you're doing this and you are going to be stuck in this dimension, 26,000 more years, then that's, there's no shame. 26,000 years is nothing in infinity. I mean, really, what you got to focus on is your healing, your expansion of self. Your soul is what you're working on. And your soul is yearning to have more of an existence in your life. So anyways, now I've been really rattling on. So hopefully I've made some sense today. Hopefully I've done some stuff to help, because I'm thinking about this, even if I can't be, because sometimes you can't help the people you're closest to, because there's too much of intertanglement of your pain and my pain and stuff like that. But to me, I'm doing my best to redeem the things that I've done wrong to other people by doing this, to help other people that are looking for help, that are trying to understand and who do need to process. That's redemption. That's where you are trying to set things right. Even if you can't figure out how to fix the things you've done wrong, you can still set things right energetically. That's what we all have to do. So have a great day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.